Okay, cool. It looks like we've got everyone on stage. We've got Ori, we've got Omar, we've got Alucard and myself. Okay, cool. Guys, thank you for everyone's time today. It's a very exciting time for the dYdX ecosystem with the recent launch of full trading on the dYdX chain. I think I've just seen today that we've ticked over 1 billion in trading volume achieved to date. So it's clear there's a lot of interest and excitement in the platform, which is great. But for me, I think a big part of that excitement and interest comes from publicly available portals and dashboards, which is unique to the dYdX chain. And hence, the purpose of the AMA today is actually for the Chaos Labs team, and specifically Omar, who's the CEO and founder at Chaos Labs, and Ori, the head of customer success, to walk through the Chaos Labs portal, explain the different subsections of the portal like overview, liquidations, positions, markets, and setting up alerts. Also, both Omar and Ori will talk you through the leaderboard, how to view the leaderboard, contextualize the rewards points, and what changes will be coming to the leaderboard and rankings. Omar and Ori will also provide an update and discuss the latest news about the 6-month launch incentive program, touch on the 4 to 5 trading seasons, recommendations per season, when rewards could be distributed, how the trading seasons could potentially play out, and a few other factors. Now, during the session, feel free to ask questions in the chat. We're going to aim to answer these questions at the end of the AMA. Cool. Now, without further ado, I'm going to pass over to Ori, who's already started to screen share. And he's going to kick off the Chaos Labs dYdX chain portal run through. Great. Can you take it away, Ori? Thank you.
Happy to introduce the Chaos Labs, the dYdX chain analytics and risk monitoring platform, which is a platform to track usage on the new chain, and also feature the leaderboard, which we'll dive into in just a moment, which presents the point system for the rewards program for the which we'll dive into in just a second. So happy to run through this. We'll go through the overview page at first. The overview page offers a high-level perspective of the analytics and the data. As you can see here, tracks it near live, total value locked, the trading volume per day, the trades. This graph here shows the open interest and trading volume. As you can see, hold on one moment. Yeah, apologize. So as we dive deeper into portal on the markets page, the markets tab here presents the different markets on dYdX in a detailed view, including data such as the open interest, the balance of short and long positions, and the average leverage used. Users can see a broad perspective of market activities and dynamics, and can dive deep into each one of these markets. They're all clickable and also filterable. So if you want to filter according to a specific market, and then according to each one of these data fields here, the open interest, the short positions, you can just filter accordingly. And deep diving into a specific market opens a broader view of that market. So if we take Bitcoin, for example, we can dive deep into specifics for the market. So once again, on a high level, you can see price, the volume, the total open interest. The changes that you can see here are done on a 24-hour basis, so we can see the differences from the day before. Then we can run through different graphs, different details, the open realized P&L, the order book depth that you can see here, and the order book liquidity, and all the positions open for the specific market. Here you can see everything that's currently open position within the market. Once again, all these tables are all filterable. If you want to see the long positions, the short positions, you can filter by size, by leverage, by P&L. And each one of these tables is also exportable to CSV. You can have all the raw data for yourselves. So this is the deep dive into a specific market. The next tab that we can dive into is the Positions tab. The Positions tab is basically a search engine for all the positions on the dYdX chain. So you can search for a specific wallet and then dive deep into that one. We'll show that in a second. But basically, you can also filter positions here by various criteria, including the asset, profit and loss, leverage, and the position type. Once again, here, if we want to go into a specific position, it would also open that on a specific view. And for this specific account, this one, for some reason, it is not loading. Once again, for each position, you can see the type, the size, the leverage, how long the position has been open, current P&L, and the open price and current price. And once again, this table is also exportable to CSV. For some reason, these positions are not opening. We'll move on to the liquidations tab. Liquidation tabs shows for different time ranges, liquidations aggregated across the protocol over the different time frames, and there's the graphical representation here for the different assets that have been liquidated. As you can see, over the past 90 days, there have been 118 short liquidations with a value of nearly $110,000, and then for long liquidations, 304 for a total value of nearly 190,000. Here again, you can see a list of the recent liquidation events. All these are also filterable and exportable to CSV. Each of these liquidations events, we can also click through them, and we'll send to these back to the specific position. And according to the specific block number. Running into the leaderboard, which is probably the most interesting part for the launch incentives program. This is the first version. We've received a lot of feedback on the leaderboard and a lot of questions, and I'm sure there's many community questions regarding how the leaderboard works. So just as a disclaimer, the initial version currently only accommodates the trading rewards. So if we go back to the launch incentives program, we're basically rewarding 3 different categories. The first one is trading rewards, which is based primarily on taker fees and trading volume. The second one is the performance-based incentives, which are going to be introduced in the second trading season. And that's a competitive-based rewards program based on P&L and based on different criteria and ranks. So basically, we're going to group the different traders into different tiers based on their volume and based on their performance in terms of P&L. Platinum, gold, silver, bronze are going to be the different groups with different rewards for each one. These are things that we've posted on our blog post, and we'll talk about them when we reach season 2, and it's all going to be incorporated into the leaderboard as well. And then the third type of rewards are for liquidity providers, which are currently not incorporated into point system that we see here, but this is going to be added in the next few weeks with another update to the community. So what we see here on the launch incentive rewards page basically is the rank of the different users based on their volume and tradings. We've received a question on how these points reflect the amount of rewards at the end of the trading season. So basically, to introduce a bit about the trading seasons, we're aiming to have 4 to 5 trading seasons, with the first one being around 4 weeks. The end time of the trading season is going to be randomized, as we spoke about in the process of approving the launch incentives program. And basically, at the end of the season, we're going to be running our wash trading algorithms to be able to take out the users who will not be part of the distribution. And basically, the rewards are proportionate to the rewards that are going to be distributed at the end. So if there are, just for an example, if there are 10 million points, and I, as a trader, have 1 million points out of those, that's 10% of the total points, I'm going to be receiving a proportionate, that proportion from the total rewards. So if the rewards at the end of the season are $3 million and I had 10% of the points, my rewards would be $300,000. So that's a bit about how the point system works. And as you can see here, every user has their own specific avatar that will continue with them for the whole length of the program. The rankings are showing the top ranked traders. Each trader can search for his own profile using the search field here. And once again, there's another link for an explanation on the incentives program as part of the dashboard here. This dashboard updates once an hour with the updated points for each user. So it's rather dynamic. And as I've mentioned before, we're going to be adding many more functionalities to the leaderboard as the incentives program progresses. So that's a high overview of the platform. We're working on creating a Loom video and a run-through for the community to have available, and for everybody who wants to see this offline to have another chance to run through the program, to run through the platform themselves. And once again, we've mentioned on the forum posts and also in our Twitter publications, this portal is meant for the community to be able to track the protocol and track their own usage. Any feature requests or any insights from the community are highly appreciated, and we'd love to hear any feedback that you have. Reach out to us on the governance forums, on Twitter, email, any forms of communication. And yeah, happy to answer any questions.
Now is we'll go ahead and take some questions from the community. So let's go ahead and see what we got. If you have your questions right now, drop them on the community town hall chat, and we'll be happy to take a look at them. I think we got a question here from Immutable Lawyer. How would this have potentially help, if applicable, preventing or mitigating the YFI insurance fund scenario?
So the portal as it is now is static, and it's just showing data on the protocol. In terms of proactive risk management and parameter settings, it's a different discussion and something that we're deeply looking into. But the portal as it is today is not proactive, so it doesn't offer or suggest parameter settings. But it just highlights the different metrics available on the protocol. So
Yeah, I'll dive in here and say that like basically we have two or we have many offerings, but one of them is a risk portal, which is what Ori just walked through. Another is a risk parameter recommendation portal, for which we built a POC for V3, I believe 6 months ago. That is not yet live for V4. But obviously, as we saw with the year in finance markets and just across crypto generally, something that is super critical for risk and security, especially as the dYdX chain continues to grow rapidly. So it's something that we're going to be, I think Immutable, I think it was you who posted, and we appreciated that right after the attack, but something that we plan on surfacing in the forum and to gauge kind of how the community feels about that, because it is something that we want to add.
Sweet, awesome. There's a few more general questions as well that I have written down, and then we'll also run through some of the ones that are being posted right now. In terms of some general questions here, how many seasons are there, and what season are we technically in now? I guess just more of a general question.
Yeah, so we're currently in the first season. The first season is meant to be a bit shorter than the other ones. So the first one is going to be around 4 weeks, with the rest being 4 to 6 weeks. The first one is a bit shorter so we can adjust and make sure that the algorithms are in sync and basically build off the first season and make the adjustment needed for the rest of the program. After the first season, we're aiming to have 3 to 4 more seasons. The total length of the program is supposed to be around 6 months. So obviously, if we have more seasons, their length is going to be a bit shorter. But that's the plan at the moment.
Awesome. And then another question that I have here is how much will be distributed in this season? And then how much in future seasons? Does it vary, or is it just more consistent, or how does that work?
The total, the max that will be distributed across the whole program it's going to be up to $20 million in dYdX tokens. But that's going to depend on the impact of the program. It may be less than that. The aim for the first season is going to be somewhere between $3 to $4 million of those.
Sweet. And in terms of rewards, when
and just to I just want to reiterate on the distribution of rewards is going to be done at the end of the trading season via a governance proposal. So basically, according to the accumulated points, and then also for the liquidity provider rewards as well, we do take off the wash traders from the calculations. And basically, we're going to present a report and recommendation to the community with how the initial season contribution is going to be done, and then the community is going to vote on that distribution. So that's going to be done at the end of the trading season in approximately 3 to 4 weeks.
Awesome. Yeah, that was going to be my next question. So you got to it. And I think there's a few questions here regarding the reward points, and how that's calculated, and how does that work, and how does it correlate to the dYdX?
Can you repeat that, please?
Yep. So in terms of reward points, how do the reward points work, and how basically is the performance-based rewards will be calculated from the reward points?
So basically, I think I tried to mention it earlier. The reward points are proportionate to the trading volume and fees, and basically, if you take the total fees paid and the volume for each user, and you look at the amount of reward points that they have proportionate to that. So if I'm a user who's responsible for 10% of the trading volume, I'm going to have 10% of the points. The points are more representative here to show competition and to be able to monitor how I'm doing compared to other traders. So the proportion of points I have compared to other to the total points on the system is going to be my proportion of rewards for the specific pool. So this is specific, once again, the points that you see today on the leaderboard are specific for the trading rewards portion. So it's not a percentage of the whole, if we say $4 million of the first trading seasons, because 20% of that is going to go to the liquidity provider category. So it's going to be part of that. The final distribution, once again, is going to be published towards the end of the trading season.
Awesome. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Sweet. Now I think maybe let's take some more community questions here. So anyone wants to, you can either type it or you can raise your hand and come on stage. Yeah, we got some good conversations going on in the message. Trying to see if there's anything that hasn't been answered. Yeah, more or less, I think we got everything, unless there's something else that hasn't been asked.
I did see a question here about removing wash traders from the leaderboard on a regular basis. So the plan with the wash traders is to do that at the end of the trading seasons. One of the reasons why we don't want to do it live is not to expose how we find the wash trading activities. So that's why we want to do it at the end, and that way wash traders or bad actors can't manipulate the algorithm to detect them. It's a cat and mouse game with these algorithms, so the intention is to do that at the end of each trading season.
Sweet, awesome. And I think here we got Luis who wants to ask a question here. So go ahead, Luis. I don't think we can hear you. Might be your mic settings. Yeah, I might be pushed to talk. So make sure you double check that. Okay, I guess in the meantime, here's another.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, perfect. There we go. Go ahead, Luis.
Yeah, I was pushed to talk, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, that was basically my question. I think ideally, even if it's not this season, but maybe eventually it can be moved to be done through the season instead of at the end. Otherwise, I think most traders, considering that the spots for rewards are limited, a lot of traders will be incentivized to continue going for that first place or whatever. Like you see right now, the leaderboard, there's a huge difference between first and third place. I'm not saying it's a watch trader, but it shows the point, right? A watch trader is going to have a huge advantage against other users, so it might actually disincentivize to continue trading. And I use my experience as an example because why I love dYdX V3 so much is I actually try to win the leagues and stay in first place. That's how I won a couple of hedges as well. So it's as a user, as a trader, I think it's important to try to keep it as transparent and truthful as the end result as possible throughout the season, however long it may be. But just my 2 cents on that, and hopefully it can be improved.
Yeah, that feedback is super important and valuable, and we always try to incorporate the community's feedback into our work wherever possible and wherever it makes sense, with the other side being, as I mentioned earlier, the ability to manipulate the system. So we'll definitely take this into account. I think the main answer for that, or the main thing that we're looking forward to in the next seasons, is the performance-based prizes, and putting the tiers in the competition, and also prizes according to the different tiers, is meant to exactly do what you spoke about, and give every type of user, depending on the amount of equity used and their amount of volume, to be able to participate and also be compensated for it. So that's what the different tiers are meant to allow for: competition in different tiers and smaller groups, with very nice prizes and rewards for each one of these groups. And that I think will create a lot of buzz and also incentives for different types of traders to participate in dYdX chain, and also specifically for this rewards program. So that's something big that's coming up in the next trading season. I invite everybody to read through the Chaos Labs blog, also on the dYdX blog, about the performance-based prizes. And I think that's going to be a place where every user can really also have a chance at the first place in their specific tiers, and it's going to create great engagement.
Awesome. Yeah, Tristan just linked as well the Chaos Lab blog, so make sure you guys take a look at that, and it has a lot of the details that we've been talking about today. With that being said, I think we can probably close the conversation here. Thank you guys, Oren and Omer, for joining us today. We'll be putting this recording of this AMA on YouTube, and we'll be sending it out through all the Twitter accounts and everything, so as well as Discord. So make sure you guys can view it back or send it to someone in the community that might have not been able to join us today. With that said, guys, make sure you go and test and trial the Chaos Labs portal. Check out the blog, and give us any feedback that you may have on the portal. Like Oren mentioned, they're looking for community feedback. We're all looking for community feedback. It's part of what we're trying to do, building the chain together. With that being said, any last things you guys want to mention before we wrap it up?
No, I think, thank you for having us here. It's always a pleasure to talk to the community and have the opportunity to showcase our work. The last thing you said about feedback is super important. This is built primarily for the community, and it's meant to serve the community and its needs, and any request we take super seriously, and we incorporate into the product. So It's not just like something that we say. We really want the feedback, and looking forward to hear it. Like, the community is super engaged, and we receive a lot of comments publicly, privately. So I do ask for that to continue, and we're happy to make the changes necessary.